shit.
Yeah, you know, I DIY, you know, make it happen.
Honestly, this is a real cool like way to do an interview. It's not like in the back of something. Yeah, people might be like, it's distracting. Why did they have like a back wall? No, we really in this shit, bitch. Party happening right there, and we're talking about real shit. Crypto. We live. Hell yeah, bro.
You think the back room isn't?
Yo, no, but it's like recontextualizing shit. It's like, yeah, you think it's all dumb niggas at the party. No, we smart motherfuckers.
At the party.
At the party.
Yeah, at the party. Still at the party, just to let y'all know.
At the party, in the back.
All right, are we ready?
Hey, yo, we ready.
All right. We're at ETH Denver in the back room.
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
yeah. Shout out to FWB for giving me money.
Facts.
The community tree.
Facts.
Everybody must eat. All right. We them niggas, and we're here at ETH Denver. Shout out to Amir, We Them Media. You know we rocking the beanies. Shout out to Russ for coordinating that.
Big facts.
I got on a shirt as well. Shout out to Gabrielle for coordinating the V1 of the We Them Media merchandise for Art Basel. Yeah.
Cop that shit.
Look at that. We got angles with this camera. Yes. So we're here at ETH Denver.
Yep.
How'd it happen?
You made it happen, bro.
Booyah.
It was about me, nigga. It was yours. This man came to me and was like, hey, yo, you want to interview some niggas in fucking Denver? I was like, yeah, let's go. I got a prop ready. Oh, word. Just review that shit. Okay, go on Google, look at that. Sounds good to me, bro. Mm-hmm. Got it done. Now we here.
And now
I ain't mad at it. I ain't mad at it, bro. Appreciate you.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate you, man. Like, I feel like getting into Web3, coming home to Philly after graduation, you were the first person I met in this space at all.
Yeah, yeah.
And I definitely appreciated that. I remember you telling me about FWB, about Fest, about Toby Shore and Life After Lifestyle. I remember watching the video and reading the essay, and even getting on Zora because of that. And I feel like you've been a big part of my journey, I feel like, coming into this space. And so I was like, I've been keen to get to know you more.
Hell yeah.
And I feel like, though I remember I did deliver you the Uber Eats one day, I really didn't see you that much until we went to Oasis this year.
It's wild because, like, I forgot what the hell I was ordering, but I was in the middle of like a stream session, and I don't know what it was. But anyway, I look at my phone, I'm like, this Maceo name seems, actually I don't even think it was that, I think it was, I forgot what the name was on there. But anyway, I go downstairs, I'm just like, what are you doing delivering me food?
Yeah, man, I caught you on my
That shit was hilarious, bro. But it was too dark, so like he doesn't know where I live still. So that's good.
Yeah, it's true. The anonymity persists, as it should be.
I am not doxxed yet.
But what's it called? I was super happy to see you at Oasis this year. I feel like we did get to connect more there. And
yeah, 100%.
Discuss a little bit more what ETH Denver might look like, and what was your experience at Oasis like? Shout out to Stefan. We did an interview with him earlier today as well.
Yo, Oasis was like the right type of R&R and R&D. You know what I'm saying? You got the rest, recovery, and research and development at the same time. It's nothing like having a really dope like island locale and just being able to soak in that dope ass weather, but also everybody else is happy because the weather is great, the food's good, the environment's amazing. So we're all just bouncing off of each other's ideas. We're all interested in what each other's doing. So Oasis is like, to me, I think like the perfect way to kickstart a year. Like, you know, you're there for the knowledge and learning about consumer crypto and like seeing real use cases, terraforming the island in real time. Like, shout out to Beam, what they did with the open bar was ill. Like, I ended up using that for a Black Hand activation 2 weeks ago in New York City, right? So being able to kind of like see that in real time and then transfer that information and that like the aspects of what you can do there and other contexts was huge for me. So I'm looking forward to Oasis Part 2 next year. Hopefully we do an activation there. But yeah, I mean, that was the perfect catalyst. And so.
Yeah, and it was a phenomenal start off to the year, I feel like.
Big facts.
I feel like I was excited to be at a conference in a space with this predominantly black people.
Hell yeah.
When are we gonna see that again? And I feel like the ratios is gonna go down. So it was cool to see it when it was real. And I look forward to being in more spaces where it's real. But
right.
Yeah, I think that was a great start to the year. ETH Denver has been super dope. I know we were supposed to do some interviews together at Russell's event, but the car broke down, that situation happened.
Yeah.
And we didn't really get to do as many together as we would have liked. But regardless, here we are getting to rehash how
big facts
Denver has been. And so how has Denver been for you? Like, what have been the highlights?
It's my first time being in Denver and doing an ETH Denver event. So for me, it was like, I think if I had gone to all the other ones, my whole view of it would be a lot different. But I think the fact that like ETH Denver has had time to refine itself, anyone else that I've talked to has said like this is like one of the better ones. Like it's more refined, the brands know what they're doing or what they want. Like there's clarity with like the vendors that are here, the quality of the vendors that's showing up with like a legitimate product that works is really unique too. A lot of cool activations of just like simply like seeing how crypto has gone from entering in a seed phrase and matching and doing all this other like long-winded shit to like 1 or 2 clicks to get to where you need to go. Like I think the space overall has just benefited from a lot of the hard work we've done over the past 3 years. So being able to go to a conference now, I think for somebody who's like new to crypto, they'd be like, oh my God, this is a really cool, fun world to be a part of, because it's a lot simpler and easier for them to deal with. I'd say like personally too, like dope ass connections, like just also being able to see people like you and a lot of other folks that I know from a while, like all of us thriving, all of us like finding like our own niche in the space. It's dope hearing everyone else work and network with people when they're like, oh, so what do you do? This and the third. Like I'm in the back like smiling like, yo, like we've all arrived kind of. So it's been really cool to see the convergence of all our worlds kind of like meet in Denver. And it's like a really dope, awesome conference to be a part of. So
yeah, absolutely. And I think you said that so perfectly. We have all arrived, and I feel like this year feels so full circle, actually.
Right.
Because last year I actually did come to ETH Denver. I came with people from Boys Club. That's who I ended up rooming with, which is dope because I didn't know how I was going to make it.
Right.
I was in this program with an organization called Landmark that I do.
Yep.
And one of my friends married was in it was like, oh yeah, ETH Denver, you're not going there? You on a crypto podcast? ETH Denver is the biggest ETH conference in the United States. I'm like, oh, I got to get there.
Right.
And so I came, I had my little microphone, but no cameras, and I was like, I'll do interviews. I was too shy to do interviews. No interviews were made in the making of that trip. But it was okay. This year we came back with production value, came back with microphones, came back with a team.
That part.
Stop playing with it.
Shout out to the team.
Shout out to the team.
Yep.
Julian, we got Gabrielle, we got Foreign in the BNB as well, contributing vibes occasionally here and there, and yourself. So, you know, all we can say is thank you. And I'm just so thrilled to be here this year and be able to really be highlighting and platforming the people that look like us that are in this space.
Right.
I think it's so important people understand there is representation, and this space isn't just about money. You know, I feel like it can feel like money's not for me or I'm not a tech person, but I feel like the revolution is for everybody.
That part.
And I feel like understanding what movements are happening in this space is important. And so, yeah, I'm excited to be here. Yeah. And I guess to flip the attention back over to you, thank you for doing the interview with me. Thank you for coming out. Tell us about how you got into Web3. How did you get to be here? Like,
shit. Okay, so I remember first touch point of Bitcoin, 2011. A friend of mine, I was just about to get into college. He's like, yo, read this white paper. It'll change your life. I was like, yeah, all right, whatever. Dub that shit. A couple years later, read it. I was like, okay, interesting. I don't know shit about finance or like anything related to like financialization of markets and stuff like that. Again, dubbed it again. 2016, 17 rolls around. I kind of warm up to it, right? Like obviously heard the news, ETH hitting the all-time high, Bitcoin going crazy. I'm like, wait a minute, I've heard these things before. Go back to the thing. Oh, that's what they were talking about. That's wild. All right. 2017, 18, I worked at a startup called Romeo out in New York City. I had learned about tokenomics at that point in time. And so what we were trying to do was build a sort of like loyalty and rewards framework for people who were...
What's tokenomics for the audience?
All right, so I got to take a couple steps back. So Romeo was like a application where it was like on-demand services for people who had hobbies. So like if you were a DJ, a clown, for example, or a tutor or whatever, you could set up your service on Romeo, and then the way that you got exposure was that if people personally recommended you. So it was a recommendation engine, first and foremost. So your goal was to get recommended by your local community and then recommended by the rest of the New York community, and then that way you'd get like more bookings. Problem was that like folks who were really good at their services didn't know how to promote themselves. Many of them like had bad photography, like housekeepers, like had bad photography of how well they had cleaned the house, or like copywriting had like there was no way you could communicate like your service or what you did effectively, or like how to even price your shit, right? So what we did was we were like, all right, well, we take 15% in fucking like fees anyway. Let's take half of that, put that shit in a token, and then distribute it to everybody who like, from like the least exposure to the most. So the people who had most exposure didn't get a lot of tokens. You're already balling. Like, you don't need it really. It's really people who like need the leg up to then get into the point where they're competitive. So we did that. ICO crash happens 2017, 18. Nobody wants to touch crypto. Our investors are like, if you touch that shit, we're taking all our money out. But it was one of the things that actually made us profitable. So I knew in the back of my mind, like, yo, crypto is really the catalyst for real, unique, insane growth. But a lot of people are afraid of it. Table that. Tokenomics is just really like the economics around how a token either like generates value and how it's being distributed amongst the community or the people that you want to distribute the token to. That means people can buy it, they can earn it, you can withhold some, people can like put money in kind of like in an escrow in like the promise that like there might be more value coming later. It's a whole different like lot of ways in which you can kind of like distribute a token, but tokenomics really just describes like the, I guess, ways you can do distribution. All right, tabling that. 2018, learned about consensus, did a hackathon 2019. That plus like me going on Instagram and asking for money paid my way to go to Japan for art residency that summer. At that point, that was really the turning point for me, I think, where I was like, I don't want to do my regular, like, regular ass design job. I want to build things for myself. And I'd always tried, but like nothing really stuck. So I felt like crypto had the right kind of stickiness for me to get into it. And I was learning more about it as I was participating in hackathons and stuff like that. So 2020 rolls around, my homie, shout out to Late Effects, or his name is Leighton, but you can find him Late Effects on Twitter. Dope ass spatial designer and industrial designer. He told me about, he was selling his Instagram filters as NFTs. I'm like, nigga, what the fuck are NFTs? And he's like, bro, this shit crazy. Shows me a Rarible link of his shit, 88 ETH bids. I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah, I gotta get on this shit. Gotta get on it. Mentioned an NFT on Rarible. That was my first place I ever did one. So shout out to that crew. Y'all legit. Fuck with y'all.
Shout out to Rarible.
And then like at that point, I'd already done like some DGen coin shit. He got me on every, like Late Effects really just like put me on the DeFi shit, the DeFi summer, the Uniswap stuff.
And Late Effects was at this art residency?
Nah.
No.
Nah. Just a dude who just loves to experiment. Like, another aside, this is the guy, when I was in college, this is when I knew to always listen to him. There was an opportunity where like he was a part of Kanye CD, like the blog. And when Yeezus came out and it had the Blink CD, he was doing art on the Blink CDs. And like the shit went viral. He was like, bro, put your art on here. You're gonna get dumb exposure. I dubbed it because I was too busy doing other shit. Virgil hit him up, Ye hit him up. Nigga was working for Donda literally the next month. I mean, it's probably hyperbole, it's probably a couple months after. But proximity, by doing a really ill-ass idea and striking the iron while it's hot. And I was like, I'm taking that with me because I fucked up. I had an opportunity to do that. And he saw that I had the capacity to do that shit, but I dubbed it. So the next time he told me about the NFT shit, I was like, all right, okay. You know what you're talking about. Because the last time I had an opportunity to work with Virgil and I fucked it up. So like, I'm not messing it up this time. You feel me? So like, there are certain people you meet in your life that like have that kind of conviction and clarity. If they're telling you, you want to follow that. And it's not like you being like an aimless follower, but more so like they see that there's an opportunity for you to take advantage of because they know you and know what you can do. So if they're seeing momentum, they want you to hop on that train, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. So when I learned about that and did the NFT thing, I was like, I gotta pay it forward. And I spent a lot of time on Clubhouse doing that. So like I met folks like Black Dave, met folks like Ja, onboarded him to the space, Latasha.
You onboarded Ja to the space?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I bought his first NFT.
That's
like,
cool.
So what I used to do, 2020, was like, because I had some bread off the DeFi shit, I was like, I would onboard somebody and I'd be like, yo, I really fuck with your art. The best way I could show you that this shit works is if you mint it and somebody buys it. So I was like, well, I could buy it. So I would just tell them, yo, what do you think this is worth? They're like, I don't know. I'm like, just put a number. They're like, okay, $300. I think that was like an ETH at the time. Paid them 1 ETH. They're like, bro, why'd you do that? To show you it works. They're like, do you want your money back? No, keep it. The fuck? Like, now do it to somebody else.
Yeah.
And then shit blew up. So at that point, it was like, okay, I see that there's validity here. And my whole goal was to just like continue to experiment in the space and see what else is possible. So I can tell somebody else that it's possible, and then whatever ideas they have, they end up proliferating that and making it happen. So, I mean, I've been doing that shit for 4 years now. Honestly, it's been
And
good.
when did Black Hands like become like a part of your journey? Like, when did you start Black Hands?
That was 2021 in the summer.
And did you know before that you already wanted to get into gaming? Were you already in gaming at like a...
No, so like, Bria could tell you, my girlfriend, she could tell you. 2020, started the pandemic, I'm connected with my friends on Discord and we're just streaming all the time. She was not necessarily annoyed with me, but she was. But with that, we were building a following. We had people on Twitch like, yo, who did your overlays? Who did like your transitions? Who's making your music? Blah, blah, blah. And we're like, yo, it's all in-house. So we were helping other communities like that were small get their footing in Twitch by just like being a resource. And then at that point, like I think summer of 2020, as the pandemic was getting real crazy, after Juneteenth, there was this weird like tension that happened on Twitch where a lot of folks were being fucking racist and xenophobic. So a lot of folks that were like black, brown, whatever, were protesting and like stopped going on Twitch. So out of solidarity, we did the same thing. So we had to reassess like, when we have situations like this, how can we distribute value to people? Because a lot of people protested even though like streaming is their livelihood. So that made me think about contextualizing what we did over on the streaming side to Web3. And I had already done Mint Fund at that point. And I had realized that like, okay, I already had a conduit that like raised funds to support artists and pay for the gas fees. And then I saw how that ended like becoming massive goodwill for us in the space, where we had really good donations and then we were proliferating and bringing it forward. So I'm like, maybe I could take that same type of model, or at least like the essence of it, and then bring it into gaming. And then that led us to like thinking about DAOs, thinking about like community ownership. Shout out to C Club, I was a part of that cohort as well. And all these kind of factors brought me to like thinking about like, let's do Black Hand as like an esports organization that's owned by everyone else. We had done a Crypto Cookout, which was, we got 450 or so people, mostly new to crypto, but largely black and brown folks, to buy 2 CryptoPunks. We raised about $1.5 million at the time.
Wow.
As those auctions were happening with the Zora Auction House, which was an offshoot of the auction primitive we built with Mint Fund, which is also like a precursor to Nows. Those auctions were happening. I'm in the hospital with my dad. He literally passes away. Both auctions for the CryptoPunks go through, and then 2 weeks later, raised $1 million for Black Hand. It was nuts. I honestly, like, at that point in time, it was weird, because it was like my best advocate, he was in a coma for a whole month. I couldn't even tell him what was happening.
Yeah.
Right? He goes, and then all this other stuff happens. I'm like, damn, like, this has got to be some spiritual, like some act, some divine act. Like, I can't quantify it. But I'm also emotionally, like, in a weird place. I'm both incredibly sad as shit and also elated. Like, it was weird. But, like, you work through it, you power through it. And so I could say like we've won championships, world tournaments. We've got massive exposure on the Web2 side. Like a lot of gamers fuck with us.
Yeah.
And so now we're just trying to like figure out how we can convert more of the crypto native people to fuck with us now. But yeah, bro, it's been a weird journey. But honestly grateful for everything. I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't know where to start if I could.
Yeah.
So, you know, I just roll with it.
I'm elated, really, like I said, to be able to sit here with you and get a bigger sense of your story. I think I'm excited for people to know your story, know who you are. Like, you are a force of nature in this space, and I feel like you frequently don't get your credit. And I think the organization that you've been building with Black Hand is also super impressive. Like, I think this whole conversation around consumer crypto, you've already been a consumer crypto organization. You've already been helping people understand what crypto is by showing up in spaces that are culturally relevant, that are games, you know? Right. And I think, like, you maybe don't get that recognition, but I see YouTubers talking about you. I see people doing documentaries about what you're doing.
Yo,
I think, like,
the Black Hand documentaries are crazy. Like, hella production value, 40 minutes, 50 minutes. I'm like, oh shit, like, we doing something.
Yeah.
We doing something.
Yeah, I mean, what you're doing is culturally relevant, and, you know, people want to document that, and I think that's a sign that what you're doing is important.
Big facts. You just gave me an idea. I gotta hit them up and be like, yo, mint that shit.
Facts.
I'm gonna definitely tell them to do that. Yeah. I hope they do.
I mean, they will. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I'm super excited to be here with you today, to have my audience hear your story, have my parents. My parents are gonna hear your story.
Love it.
Have my friends hear
shout
your story.
Shout out to the parents.
Yeah, shout out to the parents. My sister, my niece and nephew, everybody.
Hell yeah.
So I'm excited for people to hear who you are.
I'm sorry about the language for the parents. You can bleep that.
Yeah, I probably won't though, cause it's real. Yeah. So you know, the vibes are here. The vibes are here in Denver for sure.
Facts.
I was here with the Trailblazers.
Hell yeah.
And We Them Niggas was alive on this trip. And shout out to FWB for the funding. Shout out to the community for supporting this project. Shout out to 40 Acres and Russ for, you know, really just creating the space for people to come together. I'm a huge fan proponent of what they're doing over there.
Yep.
And Proof of Vibes as well. This is the Proof of Vibes event. We're in the back right now.
Yep.
And so, you know, gotta say shout out to him. And yeah, do you have anything else you want to say to the audience? Like, as we're wrapping up ETH Denver, like you went to the Meow House, but like, what's top of mind? We're wrapping up ETH Denver.
If you're thinking about getting into space, like, honestly, if you're skittish about doing anything online, show up to an event. Like, pull up in person, because, like, you'll get the warmth that, like, may be hard to translate online. Like, there are many of us that are, like, really warm online, too, but I think actually, like, having the courage to step out, go to an event, ask questions, just be yourself. Mm-hmm. There's too many of us that are incredibly eclectic in this space, like, just all over the place. Like, you're going to find people who are just like you and are interested in this shit and will nerd out about this shit and are happy to welcome you into it. So, like, don't shy away from it. If you have that curiosity, scratch that itch, pull up. There's many of us that will welcome you, like us included. So I feel like that's probably top of mind for me. Don't, like, think of these events as like, oh, let's not do the main thing because the main thing's bullshit. It's all about the side stuff. Yeah, that's true. But none of this would be possible if it wasn't for people coming in anyway. So, like, presence is more important than anything else. If you're like, yo, I don't know how to get into crypto and I'm broke, like, then the online shit's the best way, bro. Like, I'm not a shiller, but Zora has a very, like, easy way of minting without paying anything. Just present your ideas. Other people will find that shit and fund it and pay for it, right? So there's always an opportunity for you to get into the space, no matter how small the touch point may be or how it may feel. Like, you can get into it.
Shout out to you, Sirsu.
Shout out to you too, bro.
I really hope you all follow up. You go check out Black Hand, check out Stadium, check out Sirsu online. Tune in with We Them Media. I'm very excited for what the year has to hold for both of us.
Big facts.
They say we're in a bull market. They say we're approaching the Bitcoin.
Hey, yo, actually, as a matter of fact, my last thing. As this shit is rising, accumulate as much as possible. You do not want to be in a situation where you ain't applied for grants. You didn't mint your shit, right? Like, get active. Because all this is going to count. Optimism just had a whole thing where they just paid out millions of dollars to people because they just had activity on chain.
Yeah.
Just get active. Be busy in this shit. Accumulate as much as possible. Don't like everybody's got their own situation. Some niggas gotta pay for families. Some people are by themselves. Some folks got massive debt. Some people debt free. You know what your ability for risk is, and if you don't know, crypto is gonna let you find out real quick what your capacity for risk is. So if you're here and you know you got bills to pay and you got tokens you done claimed, sell that shit right now. Don't play around with it. Don't be like, oh, I'm gonna speculate and think it's gonna be, because you're gonna be mad when the shit drop 50% and now you can't pay your bills. Like, real life is way more important than fun money. But get as much of it as possible first and then take care of yourself. Please, especially as shit running up. Don't be, you'll make it back. That's the cool thing about crypto. It always comes back to you. It's an airdrop one day. It's a free mint the next day. It's you showing up. It's winning a raffle. It's you building your own idea, getting funded. It's going to come back to you. But if you got responsibilities, do not fuck around. Because this shit will really make you leave. I know too many people that were up one day, 20, 30, 40, 50, $100,000. Was like, my whole life could change. I'm like, sell, change your life. They're like, no, it's gonna go higher, and it didn't. Now they all out, fucked up. Afraid to go back into space. But now it's up again. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna hear from them tomorrow and be like, oh, I wanna get back in, what do I do? Don't be like that. Handle your business. If anything, that is the most important thing. Everything else is bullshit. Handle your fucking business, because that, you want to stay. So, keep them bills paid.
Booyah, stay responsible, take care of your responsibilities, and make sure that you're feeling fulfilled, and stay safe. And this is the advice, but not financial advice, from We Them Media today.
Right. Well, we ain't show no tokens.
That's a fact.
You can tell somebody to handle your business. That's definitely financial advice. Okay, we not shilling shit. But handle your business. And if you get an accountant, tax accountant, CPA, all that shit, handle your shit.
Period. So
you don't want Gary Gensler on your ass for some bullshit. You don't want the IRS talking about, hey, you ain't pay your taxes in like 4 years. Because now you're going to have to pay a whole lot more. That ETH bag you were saving, it's gone, plus everything else.
Everything else.
You don't want that. You don't want that. Niggas ain't got no assets to begin with. We ain't got houses yet. We ain't got no equity to leverage. Okay? So please, get your life together.
In fact, I'm not even driving my own car. So we're out here.
I'm saying. I rent too. Shit.
What's it called? This has been a wonderful opportunity to be in conversation with you. As I said, you were a part of my journey into this space. Uncle Bobby, shout out to Uncle Bobby, shout out to Mark.
Facts.
And the whole team, Uncle Bobby's. But it's incredible to go from there to here and to hear your whole story once again and hear additions to it. I'm excited, like I said, for my community to get to know you. I'm excited for our communities to get to interact more with time. And I'm excited to work together to bring Philadelphia on chain. So
hell yeah.
I'm really excited to be here, and I'm excited for our journeys to continue to blossom and intertwine further.
That part. Hell
thank
yeah,
you again for co-signing a proposal with me, coming to Denver.
Of course.
And thank you for doing this interview. And thank you all for paying attention, tuning in. You can let people know where they can check out everything you're working on.
Sirsu on Twitter, Telegram, Farcaster, the whole nine. Go follow me there. You can also go Black Hand on all socials. That's where I'm at.
Booyah. And you know where we're at. We're at We Them Media. You guys say booyah as well. 3, 2, 1.
Booyah.
All right. Peace, love, everybody. Hope to see you at ETH Denver next year, and hope to see you online sooner.
Yes, sir.
Peace and blessings.